A seismic revelation breaks through the fog of complacency today as we uncover the sinister depths of a case that has rattled our community and pricked the conscience of any who hear it. Sara Jean Sellers, a mother transformed into an alleged predator, sits at the eye of a storm that demands our urgent attention. Shadows entwine with daylight as this tale of betrayal unfolds, a stark reminder that the most familiar faces can sometimes conceal the darkest intentions. To appreciate the gravity of today's disclosures, let us rewind the clock to the turbulence of February 14, 2023. On this date, 44-year-old Sara Jean Sellers, residing unabashedly in Shallotte, North Carolina, was taken into custody by the diligent Special Crimes Unit of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office amid a deluge of accusations. Her indictment stems from an astonishing total of 80 criminal charges related to heinous offenses against children, a numerical assembly that feels like a punchline to a grotesque joke. The state's allegations paint a chilling picture of Sellers' interactions with minors, accounts that range from statutory rape involving children as young as 12 to indecent liberties that sprout like weeds in an unkempt garden. Each charge knits a tapestry of trauma, one that not only ensnares the victims, but also echoes throughout the social fabric of our society. As the months turned over, the world took its breath, digesting the implications of these revelations. What began as a routine court appearance transformed into an exposé on the vulnerability of children, cloaked in a shroud of familial trust. Recent updates unveil the scope of the investigation. The names of the alleged victims loom like unwritten chapters waiting to be explored, with 4 boys aged between 12 and the nebulous unknown, left to navigate the wreckage of their shattered innocence at the hands of someone who was meant to protect and nurture. Diving deeper into the pool of information, new testimonies have emerged from sources within the law enforcement community. Self-described trauma navigators and child safety advocates now sift through the wreckage of Sellers' actions, affirming that the investigation may uncover additional victims buried beneath the surface, each moment extending a harrowing sense of urgency. Reports suggest that the constellations of abuse might be more extensive than originally believed, driving a community rallying cry for anyone touched by this grim narrative to step forth and share their plight. It is a call that reverberates through the hallowed halls of justice, as the phrase whistleblower's courage now rises from the ashes of anonymity, urging those ensnared in the shadows of fear to break the silence. From anguished parents to neighbors grappling with the disbelief, how can a seemingly ordinary life emit such extraordinary darkness? A community organizer, acting as a spokesperson for those rattled by this tragedy, posed the question: if we turn a blind eye, how many more innocents will slip through the cracks of our defenses? This tangible dread simmers just beneath the surface of casual conversation, illuminating the societal no man's land we inhabit, disillusioned yet determined, bewildered yet resolute. As we absorb this deluge of calamity, a wave of solemnity washes over the audience. How can we build ramps of dialogue where once there was only silence? How do we equip our communities to recognize the signs that may otherwise remain cloaked in the mundane? This unsettling saga forces a reckoning. We stand at a crossroads where complacency meets vulnerability, and the choices made henceforth will craft the mosaic of our collective security. Stepping back, we must examine how these traumatic events ripple across the landscape of child welfare legislation and societal mores. What pathways will we carve in the aftermath of this sordid affair? How many families will rethink the nature of trust, the kind that sculpts relationships and cultivates safety? In a society that often elevates the family unit as an untouchable bastion, these allegations puncture that ideal like a deflated balloon, making room for critical discourse on how we protect our children. With the investigation still unfolding, not only in court but in the court of public perception, we are compelled to reflect upon the larger currents that guide our responses to child safety. Tomorrow may herald further unlayering of the truths lurking in the long shadows cast by such betrayals. Will we rise as guardians, insisting that no child navigate this abyss alone? As dusk approaches, the haunting specter of this case looms ever larger. One question remains suspended in the air, echoing in the hearts of all affected: what fresh horrors might be unearthed as the clock ticks forward, forever altering the landscape of Sara Jean Sellers' life, her family, and the very fabric of our community.